Northwest Florida State College presents Outlook, a public service presentation of the college and Cox Communications, focusing on the events, activities, and instructional programs of Northwest Florida State College.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the winter edition of the Raider Sports Beat. I'm Ramsey Ross, Athletic Director at Northwest Florida State College, and we're very excited that you're joining us tonight. We're talking Raider hoops. Can't think of a better way to end our extended break from Raider Sports Beat than to talk Raider basketball. We're going to be visiting with both head coaches of our programs who have their programs undefeated and nationally ranked, so we're very excited about this evening. And first off, joining us is head coach Tamela McCorvey for the women's basketball program. Coach McCorvey's spent the last 5 seasons as an assistant for the Raiders, and of course is a former standout player for Northwest Florida State College, which was then OW back then. But Coach McCorvey, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, obviously before we get into it, be remiss if we didn't reflect on Coach Harrington's passing. It's been a very difficult time for all of us here in our department and in the community for that matter. I don't know if you share my sentiments, but it still really hasn't quite sunk in, and I don't think it will for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been hard, and it still hasn't quite sunk in. It's like every day I'm in the office, it's like I'm waiting for him to come through,
right? But
he's not coming, and the players still miss him. Like they talk about him every day, and every time they talk about him, it's a big smile on their face.
Right.
So,
well, that's the ultimate compliment. Coach Harrington's legacy speaks for itself, not only on the basketball court, but in the community with an outstanding family man. And just dealing with the tragic loss, how have you felt your players have responded?
I think they responded well. They took it hard at first, but once they realized this is what it is, they responding well, and they're going hard, and everything they do is for Coach Harrington.
Well, I got to echo those sentiments. I've been extremely proud of the way they've handled it. They've seemed to mature a lot over the last 2 months or a month and a half, however long it's been. But Coach Harrington would be extremely proud of the way they've responded. And of course, you guys have gotten off to a tremendous start. And I think the basketball season started at the perfect time for you. Now they can focus on basketball, and hopefully as time goes on, they can begin to cope with the loss. Yeah,
like I said, right now it's all about the basketball. He's still in the back of their head, but they're wanting to play basketball just for him. It's more about him than themselves right now.
Right. Well, moving on to basketball, which is what we're here to talk about. Give us your assessment. We're now a few weeks into the season. Give us your assessment of how your team has played so far this season.
Right now we're undefeated, as you know, but we're not where we want to be, and which is perfect. They know right now that we're working on our kinks, and these games right now are getting us ready for January when we play Chipola, Gulf Coast, the conference team when it really gets real.
Exactly. And so you've already beaten a really good team who's nationally ranked, Florida State College of Jacksonville, and you beat them by, I think, 26 or so. Tremendous game at home for those of you who didn't see it. Lady Raiders played outstanding, forced a lot of turnovers. Your defense has been really good. You have to be really pleased with that win.
Yeah, I was excited because they came in thinking that they was going to come in and beat us like they did last year, and the ones last year remember that game, and they wanted a little bit of revenge. So we went out and got big revenge on them.
Absolutely. Well, now you returned 5 sophomores from last year's team, including a redshirt freshman who practiced all last year, and Tia Sanders. Talk about how much of a luxury that is to have those core 6 players back. They know the system, and I'm sure you're happy to have them on your team.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They know the system, and they harp on how much they want to get back to Kansas. So they know what it takes to get back to Kansas. They know right now these games right now we're working on us more than we're worried about the other teams. So we're working on us right now, and they know that, so we can get ready for conference.
Right, and I've always felt like our best teams and all of our sports have had a good core of freshmen coming back for their sophomore year, and that's exactly what you have. So that's a nice luxury. Now, one player who's wasted no time in making an immediate impact is a transfer that you got in Daniela Wallen. She played at Independence Community College in Kansas 2 years ago, sat out last year. And now she's here. She's really made a huge impact for you, hasn't she?
Yes. We miss Carla Batchelor, she graduated, went on to Florida, so we had to find somebody to replace her. And with Daniela, she comes in, she's very versatile, she's a great rebounder, and she just go hard every single play. She never takes a play off.
Yeah, and she fills the stat sheet.
And she fills the stat sheet.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a game that she hasn't filled the stat sheet.
I've been impressed with her endurance too, because she plays close to 40
She
minutes
plays almost the whole game.
Absolutely. Now, having worked with Coach Harrington for 4 seasons, I'm sure you have a little bit. Basically, his influence on your coaching style is tremendous. But talk a little bit about your philosophies and what you're looking to get this team to buy into this season.
Well, offensively, it's almost the same. We're going through the same stuff we did. We always want to push the ball, and that's basically going to stay the same. But defensively, we played the zone for the past 4 or 5 years. Right. So we're switching that up. We're going to play more man than zone. We're still going to play the zone, but we're going to play a lot more man. So I'm a defensive person, and my background has been defense, so we're going to switch that up and play a lot more man, make it tougher for folks.
And actually, I know Coach Harrington was actually looking forward to playing some man this year. And you seem to have some guards that can really get out and pressure the ball, especially full court. You got some key reserves in Adele Allen and AC Powell and those types of players that really can create havoc in the backcourt.
Yeah, that's why we want to play a lot more man, because of we have the guards that can get out there and pressure, and then when they get tired, we can bring a couple more in to get them a little bit of rest. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely. And I know one key area that you were a little concerned about was your depth, but you've had several people step up, and your depth actually is looking quite nice right now. Yeah,
surprisingly, yes. Some freshmen have stepped in, and when they get in the game, they come in, like you said, defensively, they turn the ball over and turns the layups, and that's keeping them on the court.
Yeah, never are going to complain when you have a lot of layups. Huh?
Yeah.
Now, 2 major assets at your disposal that's helping you along in this process is got to be your assistant coaches, Marvis Hodges and James Bubba Cooper, who's been with Coach Harrington for the past 4 seasons, and those 2 really have to have some comfort level, with you and giving you a sense of comfort in knowing that they're there and familiarity with what you're doing.
Yeah, they both stepped up, especially James. He comes around a lot more, and he knows the game, so the players respect him, and we've been around each other a lot, so it's great that he stayed on, and I'm happy to have him. And Coach Hodges, I played for him.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
Yeah, I played for him, so it's just that we're comfortable around each other, and we have the same mindset. So when he's thinking something, I'm thinking the same thing. We look at each other and like, yeah, we just shake our head like, yeah, absolutely. We know the same thing. So it's great having him around. I'm glad he came back aboard. So it's just been great having those 2.
Right, and Coach Hodges also was a Division I assistant for several years. So certainly he's got a lot of experience, and I know you're leaning on him. And you guys make a great team, all 3 of you really. So tell us a little bit about how the conference is shaping up. You've had a chance to see some of the teams play. What are your expectations out of some of the teams in the conference?
Well, the top 3 teams are the usual. Then Tallahassee's stepping up this year. They're a lot better. So, it can go any way. It's just who comes out and play. But I feel as though we're right there in the mix of it. We're ready to compete with them.
And if you can survive your conference, you're ready for any national competition whatsoever, because certainly we like to think of ourselves, even though you are an SEC person and I'm an ACC person, but the Panhandle Conference is sort of the SEC of women's college basketball and at the junior college level. So if you can survive that gauntlet, now we still get 3 teams this year to qualify for the state tournament. This is the last year of that rotation. So certainly I know you're shooting to get at least in that 3rd spot, but certainly have higher expectations than that.
We want to win the conference, and we feel as though we got the players that can do it. So we're not.
And and the way it shapes up too is that you're hosting Chipola twice, which is a big advantage.
Yes.
And you're also got to play at Gulf Coast twice, which is going to be difficult. our rotation also is we go to Tallahassee twice, and then we have Pensacola twice at home. So the conference is really going to be, I mean, the schedule really balances out nicely, but I think having those two key home games against Chipola are going to be huge.
Yes, as a player and as a coach, it's always hard to play in Mariana. So to have those two home games is great. And to go to Gulf Coast is going to be tough, but I feel as though we're going to be ready to step up.
And, you know, Rooney Scoville returns to Gulf Coast, who's a legendary head coach there, and returns after a 2-year hiatus, so to speak. And she comes out of retirement, so that'll be a challenge. But, you know, what are some of the things you're looking for out of your teams or out of your team as you go forward in preparation for January? Like you said, what would you like to see your team improve on?
Right now, I think we need to improve more on executing and more communication. Like I said, once you execute and communicate defensively, we're doing okay. We're fouling a lot. We gotta stop fouling. But once we get the communication and them talking to each other, they realize once they do talk to each other out there, good things happen. So once we get them to really get that down, we'll be fine.
Right. And I got to say, you know, your practices have been extremely impressive. You guys are really getting after it, and you know, conditioning-wise, I don't think there's going to be a better team in better conditioning than the Lady Raiders this season.
Yeah, we do a lot of running,
right.
A little bit more running than they're used to.
Yeah.
So we tell them all the time, the other team's going to be gassed, but look at y'all still ready to go.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you know, just can't tell you how proud I have been of the women's basketball program yourself, and how you've handled all this adversity that's unfortunately come upon us over the last 2 months. And I'm extremely excited about the upcoming season, or as we go forward in the season. The ladies just really seem to be buying in, be hungry, and they want to honor Coach Harrington to the highest regard, which is, of course, going out there and representing the college the best way possible, and they have done that.
Yes, they're doing a great job. I couldn't be more proud of them.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck to you this season, and we look forward to great things.
Thank you.
Stick around, Raider fans. When we come back, we'll be visiting with head men's basketball coach Steve Tamela. We're going to be talking about the men's basketball program.